All right, so let's go ahead and get you started. Um, Super excited that you all are here tonight. I'm April Wagner, and I'm just going to be your host, Bobby and I. And we have Kellie Lupsha, and I'm going to bring up these slides because I've got a beautiful slide on her. Okay, start. Okay, all right. So this is a picture of all of Kellie. Such a beautiful person. You saw a little bit of her husband, Arthur, who is a physician, is a doctor as well. But she's a mom of four adult kids, a true entrepreneur. You know, we are just so blessed to hear her. She is one of my faves. You can kind of read some of this, Masters in Physical Therapy, and a lot of other different things. But she is one of my favorite people to listen to when she is explaining our line of Protandim, which to me, I mean, if that's the only reason you're on here tonight is the reason you should be. They are powerhouse products. And we just, we have business rocking and rolling, but I don't think we truly ever appreciate or forget to appreciate how great these products are. And over time, more and more is just being discovered. So, Kellie, we're just so excited. I'm going to have to look for your podcast. I didn't know you had a podcast. So I'm going to have to look
Yes,
for
please,
that.
please subscribe. Love all the new subscribers. That would be great, you guys.
But you and Arthur are just a powerhouse couple. We're excited that you're here and that you're sharing. And I'm going to let you take it away. Just tell me whenever you want me to click, and we will move ahead.
Perfect, perfect, you guys. Well, I wanted to start and kind of give an overview so that it could lead into why the Pro Tandem line is so powerful and so unique. And it just so happened, it literally in the car ride going to Erica and Jesse Dale's house, I was on quickly with an old friend that I got to meet over Thanksgiving that I had said, hey, if health is important to you, we need to catch up. And that's literally all I said. And in a 10-minute conversation in the car ride, literally he sends me his credit card and his phone number and just says, I already take a bunch of stuff, but I believe you. I just want to add Protandem, so do it for me, please. Um, but it's so powerful. And we used to build this business only on Protandem. And today we have so many other shiny objects that we sometimes get overwhelmed. So let's bring it back to why Protandim is so special and why we're here. And then you can partner it and pair it with so many other of our amazing products. But in the world today, our bodies are being hijacked. So if you look at your parents or your grandparents, they lived in a day and age that is completely different of where we are today. And therefore, our bodies are under attack 24/7 with distractions, first and foremost, which cause physical, emotional, biochemical. We've got toxins, we've got EMFs, we've got allergies, pollutants. We have so much in the world that our poor bodies are like, how do I help? How do I heal this? How do I do this? And eventually it just starts saying like, I can't hold it all together. I can't handle all of this attack. And that's where we come in. And unlike supplementation that has been filling the gap, if you live in a place that's cold and there's a lot of potholes in the roads, really those nutritional deficiencies, people are filling the potholes with supplementation. And I want you to understand that LifeVantage is in a whole nother category that you can call it nutrigenomics, you can call it we're biohacking. Just know you are taking control of your own biology. So I get in a lot of conversations with people to say, but I'm already taking XYZ. And I never want to get in a comparison of what they're taking versus Protandim because they're taking supplements. We are taking activating nutrigenomic products. So we're going to take control of our own biology. We're going to optimize our own genetic potential, right? We're going to become the best version of ourselves using nutrigenomics. And in a simple term, it is just the research of how nutrients and natural compounds affect our genes. So we'll go move forward from there, April. So I wanted to set the stage a little bit. I'm 53. So I've passed the age of 40 when after the age of 40, your risk of death from chronic disease doubles every 8 years. That's many of us, and many of us are way past 40. And if you can look on the screen, whether it's cardiovascular disease, diabetes, stroke, COPD, neurologic disorders, Once you hit 40, it starts to dramatically incline with age-related chronic diseases. So we're not just talking about like, oh, what will I feel tomorrow? No, we're talking about we can help you prevent your risk of these chronic diseases. And it's just the fact the body was not designed to live basically past 50. Years ago, that's just not how we were designed. So moving forward, if we look at the next slide, these are the hallmarks of aging. If we can address the hallmarks of aging by slowing it down, and if we slow down aging, we slow down disease. And if we slow down disease, we can delay human death. And I think we all want a longer health span, right, in our life. A health span versus a lifespan. So just briefly look over here on the left. On the left, the very first on the top is typical, without any medications, without anything. You start the aging process. By the time you're 65, wow, you have some aging intervention starting to happen. So then you start looking at the second one down, and at that age of 65, it's like most people by then have had medical interventions. And I believe in the world today, most people probably by 50 are having some sort of drugs, meaning medical interventions. And all they're doing is slowing down death. That is all they're doing. But if you could think of, wow, if we could put in anti-aging interventions early on, maybe somewhere in our 40s, maybe we could live till 80-ish before we're needing medical interventions. But what I want you to really look at now is look at the right-hand side. The question is, what if we could intervene earlier in life with more anti-aging interventions? So we have now in our hands Protandim NRF2, NRF1, and NAD. If we get this in people's bodies, so whether in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, right, we're getting it in their bodies, they can stay healthy way until the hundreds. And then, and only then, might you need a medical intervention, but then you only are living your life under medical interventions for a couple years before you die. I think we would all agree. We want to live a long life healthy and a very, very short life not feeling well, right? But on the left side of the screen, you're living a big chunk of your life not well. And that's what we have our hands on is we can help people decrease those age-related diseases. So let's move forward to the next slide. You guys, what we're talking about is not Bob and April. It's not Kelly. This is from the universities around the United States and actually around the world that have studied Protandim Nrf2, all given their seal of approval and said, this is groundbreaking research that is helping us fight age-related diseases. So let's get into what we're talking about tonight. We are introducing the Protandim series, which is the Protandim Tri Synergizer. There are 3 separate products. It can get a little confusing because they all look like they're in a blue bottle and they all say Protandim, but we're going to talk about each one specifically tonight. So we're going to start with our hero product. Why LifeVantage is here is Protandim NRF2 Synergizer. I'm going to do a little overview, mini science, and then I'm going to give you like the easy version of what each of these are because what I've learned is we want the science in our back pocket because the science is what gives us the mindset to believe so heavily in these products. I tell every single person, this is something that is non-negotiable you need in your life, right? I am so bulletproof, but I'm not going to tell them all of these scientific things. I'm going to tell them like the easy button of yes. But you guys need to know a little bit more science. This is based on 5 herbal ingredients, which you can see, right? Turmeric, ashwagandha, milk thistle, bacopa, green tea. I want you to remember this. If somebody says, no problem, I'm already taking green tea and turmeric and maybe ashwagandha, say, that's amazing. That means health is important to you. But we have something different. You're taking them all as supplements that are filling a gap. They're filling the potholes. In activation, we're creating new roads. We're creating new pathways. And as you can see, these 5 ingredients are now regulating over 500 survival genes. That's what my friend on the phone wanted to know. He says, is it like this? Is it like that? I said, no, it's like no other. There's no other product that is the master switch of these survival genes. And whether you're talking about your own body's detoxification, whether you're talking about your body's ability to fight inflammation, whether you're talking about your body's ability to make antioxidants, what this is so special that there isn't a product out there in the market that can do what this does. So, yes, it slows down aging by increasing the body's antioxidant production. It's going to help the cells rejuvenate. This is really critical is by inducing our own body's ability to make antioxidants instead of a 1-to-1 ratio we're going to see in a second. We're now going to neutralize or fight them off at 1,000,000 to 1 per second every second. What you really need to know about this one slide is that next statement that it says it lowers oxidative stress by an average of 40% in 30 days in 100% of people. If people say, what's the takeaway? What is this? That's what you want to be able to memorize is this lowers oxidative stress by an average of 40% in 30 days and 100% of people. And what does that mean? Because that's all they want to know. What's in it for me, right? They don't really care about that statistic, but what's in it for me is that means that's your cellular insurance that you're going to reduce your risk of chronic disease by 40%. We have car insurance, life insurance, all the insurances, right? This is your cellular insurance. So it's really, really incredible. So as we look at the next slide that you can see, if you look at all those ingredients, it was just this research study was trying to show if you just took each individual ingredient, what would that do in activating the nerve 2 pathway? Well, you guys, some of them activated this a little bit. Some of them on their own actually didn't do anything. But when you put these 5 ingredients together in the exact recipe, the exact blend in this microdosing special recipe that Dr. Joe McCord formulated, it literally hits the jackpot. And that's why in over 20 years, there's been no company or any product that's come out that's even been able to be close to doing what Protandim NRF2 can do in your body. It is truly a beautiful recipe. So if you look at this next page, I just want you to really, really understand when you're like, what even is oxidative stress? I don't even know what that means. I think we all can see the apple at the bottom. You cut an apple in half, you leave it out on your counter over time, it starts to turn brown. And if you really leave it out over time or it accidentally gets like stuck under a couch or something, it really starts to look terrible. Well, that's what's happening to our cells. Our cells are stuck under the couch. They are getting damaged and therefore they can't operate. And a cell that's not well leads to disease. Therefore, we need to fix the cell. So this is exactly the example of the antioxidants when people say, but I already take turmeric, but I already eat, take green tea and I eat my blueberries and my broccoli. They're just fixing the potholes. That's all. One good guy, one free radical fights one bad guy, and that equation is done. But if we have trillions of free radicals, that avenue will never get us to be well. If that avenue got us to be well, I mean, my gosh, you guys, 87% of the US take supplements. So everybody would be much more well if that solved it. It doesn't. You take Protandim Nerve 2, it turns on your own body to fight those antioxidants at 1,000,000 to 1 per second, every single second. So you just need to be able to tell somebody that it reduces that oxidative stress by an average of 40% in 30 days, and there's no other anti-aging product or supplement that can come close. All I know is I would love to have my blood. I might not want to be 20 anymore. I don't know, April, right? You don't probably want to be 20, but we want the blood of us when our 20 to be that healthy. Yep. And that's what people can have their hands on is literally by taking Protandim Nerve 2. So if we look at the next slide, I want you guys to think in your mind that here we are lowering oxidative stress, lowering your risk of disease, and we take it to make it. So if we can look at the next slide, April, that one didn't move forward, is I want you to also know this came from Washington State University. And so if you get distracted with life, you need to come back to this statement over and over and over that NRF2, right? Per tandem, NRF2 we're talking about. So NRF2 may well become the most extraordinary therapeutic, a most extraordinary preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. This is from Washington State University. So, no matter what people say, tonight, all these people were asking me about this and this and this and this. I said, I'm not going to debate the fact that that's a good supplement and science is changing. But NRF2 is the best way, is the number one way that you can help prevent any sort of health related aging process in the future. So, to make it simple, as LifeVantage is, in the phrase take it to make it, per tandem NRF2 takes out the trash, takes out the bad stuff, right? So, we take NRF2 to get our body to make antioxidants. I love that, although I do think it's too simple because NRF2 is actually so much more than just making antioxidants. But to make people understand, like, what is it? Oh, you take it to make it. You no longer need to take your antioxidants because we can make our antioxidants, which you guys in the chat throw out there instead of a 1-to-1 ratio. When we make it ourselves, what ratio is that? I hope everybody's writing in the chat, right? Like 1,000,000 to 1, not 1-to-1, but 1,000,000 to 1 because we take it to make it. So that's what's really, really beautiful. So let's talk about NRF1 and let's talk about NAD. Protandem NRF1 came along as the next protandem activator, and this boosts our body's mitochondria. And again, you don't get weighed down with the science. Mitochondria is what creates the ATP, the energy factor. We have so much mitochondria in our body, it has its own DNA, but that is what gives every cell, every system, every organ the energy to do its job. So we need this energy production. So people are like, oh my God, I'm just so sluggish, I'm not feeling well. Yeah, sometimes it's a brain energy, sometimes it's a body energy. When it's the body energy, it's coming from your mitochondria, which again, as we're getting older, just starts to decline. These are the ingredients. They are small doses in combination, in synergy that activate our body to make bigger, stronger mitochondria. So let's look at the next slide of what more mitochondria looks like. This is what mitochondrial dysfunction looks like. This means as we're aging, we hit 25-ish and we are aging. When the mitochondria can't work well, that may lead to diseases of cerebral palsy, Parkinson's, epilepsy, autism, cardiomyopathy, mitochondrial disease, muscular dystrophy. Like, look at all these, you guys. I'm sure you know somebody with fibromyalgia, diabetes, chronic fatigue. Nobody wants any of these. So when we know that we can reduce people's risk, and especially if you're looking in that circle of orange, like who Alzheimer's is real and true. And I think there's not a one of us that hasn't had a time where like, where did we put our keys? Where did I file this? I put it somewhere and I knew specifically where I put it. And now where is it, right? It's there. And if we don't protect ourselves, what we do today is going to show up in 20 years from now. So this mitochondrial dysfunction really works so well with the giving our cells energy to do its job. So in the take it to make it fashion of LifeVantage, we're going to create healthy mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cell. We take NRF1 to make energy, to make cellular energy. And that's all you guys need to know. So we can double down with protandem NRF2 and NRF1, or we can triple down, you guys, with adding protandem NAD. So when we look at NAD, NAD is a very hot topic. A lot of people are talking about NAD. So as we move to the next slide, April, it really shows you guys, this is our NAD. Again, you don't need to memorize all of this because it's in your back office. It's on your app that, yes, you have, right? Wasabi and olive leaf and theacrine and cuperos niacin. NAD, our NAD is very powerful. And I'm going to show you why it's so unique and different because it's an activator versus any other product. I'm only putting this on here for a graphic. You do not need to know this biochemical conversion, okay? But what you need to know is in the body has to convert things into NAD. We've got NR. There are supplements out there called NR. There are supplements out there called NMN. We need those because they're precursors to make NAD. But in those blue arrows, those are rate limiting steps. And any other product that's out there that's a precursor, because of those rate limiting steps, you're only getting like 2, 4, 8% conversion to NAD. But LifeVantage is different. So on the next slide, you can see because we activate our Protandim NAD gets rid of those rate limiting steps. It opens up the gates and converts. The body converts NR to MNN into NAD. So we can create NAD and upregulate it by 100% in 24 hours because there's no other product that activates to get rid of that step, that rate limiting step. So Protandim NAD, it's a little bit complicated. It turns on this family of sirtuins. It protects our NAD, our DNA for repair. But you just need to know it's the conductor of the cells. And if you take NAD, you are going to make better health span. Guaranteed. It's all about your telomeres and the length of your telomeres. But just know you're going to get a better health span with NAD. And when you take all three together, this is what's really exciting, right? You take all three of this Protandim Tri-Synergizer. I want you to look at this next slide, and this is what's profound. When people say, do I really need to take it all? Should I take one or two? And I show them this, and I say, listen, when you take one, it activates the genes for that specific product. But when you put them together, there is a synergy. And what I want you guys to look at is the second grouping of genes. So if you look at those blue bars, the one that's the highest, right, all the way through the letter T and stacked together, that gene is your healthy inflammatory response. Everybody knows that inflammation is the big baddie. Do we agree? Like, who knows inflammation is the big baddie? Yes, in the chat, like, yes. So if you really want to reduce inflammation, you can take Protandim Nerve 2, and that's going to upregulate your body's healthy inflammatory response by 51%. But when you take all three in the Protandim Tri-Synergizer, that one gene is now upregulated by 848%. Like, mind blowing. So I tell people it's up to you. Like, you can spend a little, like $60 or spend 150 and get all these added benefits. That's up to you. But together, that's what LifeVantage I love is they don't just make each separate product. They look at products and how they work together. So in the last slide, you guys, I'll just, really conclude with is you can take the Tri-Synergizer, you've got bottles or you've got the cute little packets, or typically, this is just me, talk with Bob and April. I usually do not start somebody off taking the Tri-Synergizer, or if I do, I say hold off on NAD to start. NAD can be very powerful. And together, by upregulating all those genes at once, some people, if they're aging, if they're sick, if they have sensitivities, they need to work up to that NAD in combination. So the other thing I don't think we talk enough about is the vitality stack, which is your Protandim NRF2, NRF1, and you get your omega and you get a probiotic. If somebody wants to walk out the door and spend about $150 on all four of those products, maybe it's now 170 or 80, that is a home run. You can't lose either way you go in the Tri-Synergizer or getting the vitality stack. So cellular health, right? A healthy cell leads to healthy organs, leads to healthy human, leads to us being healthy. So we cannot forget the power behind it. And as you move into Protandim and mind body, Protandim and P84, Protandim and collagen, there's synergies with all of them. Just do not ever forget about the other Protandim products because they're really, really profound. So April, I hope that was really helpful for people. And gave them an overview of of those Protandim family.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much. You are always so awesome. I really appreciate your time. We have another powerhouse lady that Bobby and I have known forever and absolutely adore. I mean, her credentials, but she is the most elegant lady that we know. But I mean, she's a fellow in the American College of Physicians, forensic science. She's got masters in, she's got toxicology. She has it all, research. I mean, you can read here what's going on, just a wealth of information, but she has the ability to be able to share these products as she does with her patients. You're just going to love hearing from her. So Dr. Gordon, if you can unmute and join us, and I'll help move your slides along. And we really do appreciate your time here tonight.
Sure. Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. And thank you, Bob and April, for inviting me to talk about one of my favorite topics, health, wellness, and prevention, and the opportunity to achieve that with all the amazing and powerful products that LifeVantage offers. In my clinical practice, every patient visit is a wellness visit. I take the opportunity to educate, to advise, to instruct, and to introduce patients to an amazing journey. We always talk about what happens as we go from one decade of life to the other, and we know what happens. Aging happens. Even though our physiologies may be different and we are unique in some ways, there's some things that are actually quite similar. Every decade of life brings a different physiology. So how do you plan for that? And there's an old adage that says, if you fail to plan, then you must be planning to fail. And so I help patients to think about that, to process that, and help them along the journey because there's so much information coming at individuals, and a lot of it is not really. A lot of it is actually quite confusing because sometimes you get reports on one thing and another, and patients really get confused. But it's so important for us to understand that age is the single most significant risk factor for every disease. So, how do we go from one decade of life to the other and still maintain functionality? Because aging will happen, but if we can maintain function, then as Kellie alluded to, we can live into our 80s, 90s, and beyond and still function well. I actually just, my oldest patient, who was 106,
Oh, wow.
recently passed away on November 28th.
Oh,
And I saw her for her annual wellness visit in August. And she's been taking these products for a long time, and she was truly amazing. Her mind was sharp, everything was good. And obviously, she got to the point where she wasn't eating and eventually just slipped away. But just a beautiful soul, and someone who has journeyed with me for the last maybe 2 decades, but has literally taken every product I've offered to her and has done well with it. So let's talk about another amazing product that LifeVantage has, collagen, liquid collagen. So I'm sure you know, or you may know what collagen is. It's one of the most important structural proteins in the human body. It's essentially the glue that holds everything together. It's a fibrous protein. It's made up of amino acids, and it's found in connective tissue throughout the body, especially in skin and tendons and ligaments and bones and cartilage, blood vessels, the cornea in the eye, and even in our teeth. And it accounts for about 30% of the body's protein content, making it the most abundant protein in humans and animals. In fact, collagen makes up 90% of your bone's organic matter. So, what does it do? What does collagen do? It acts like a scaffolding, it holds tissues together, it provides structure and strength. And with age, the collagen production slows down. So, after age 30, collagen production can drop by 1 to 2% per year. Now, when that happens, you see wrinkling of the skin, sagging of the skin, loss of joint flexibility, thinning of the hair, and slowing of the wound healing and things like that. But let's do a little bit of math for a moment. I'm not sure if there are any 60-year-olds in our group tonight, but if you think since age 30, over the 30 years now that you're 60, your production would have declined by at least 30 to 60%. Your decline in production in collagen has gone down in if you go from 30 to 60 by at least 30 to 60%. And if you add to that the UV rays from the sun, smoking, high sugar intake, stress, poor sleep, that adds to even further decline in production. So how do we hold on to what we have? How do we prevent this loss? How do we enhance production? Well, LifeVantage has figured it out, and they've figured out a way to do this. And they have created something called liquid collagen. Now, liquid collagen isn't just another collagen supplement. I mean, there are many supplements out there. Some are powdered formulations, some are pill formulations. But this is an advanced activation formula. And remember, Kellie just spoke about activation. There are lots of products that LifeVantage has created over the years that actually activates things again. It activates our bodies to do what it's supposed to do. And it's made up of marine collagen. And that is quite significant because marine collagen is compared to other forms of collagen, is actually the most easily absorbed form of collagen. So this particular advanced formulation is made up of marine collagen, and it actually helps to make 5 types of collagen. It replenishes the depleting collagen levels, and it maintains collagen by reducing the enzymes that break it down. So it actually does 3 things. Now, most other collagen formulations really do one thing, but this particular collagen formulation does 3 things. Now, if you go back to the slide after,
Before, you mean?
yeah, where we look at the studies that were done. Yes, this particular one. So this particular slide tells us about a study that was done on cell cultures. And what they found was 100% increase in the collagen density and the activation of 5 different collagen types of collagen using our formulation of liquid collagen. And lots of the clinical trials that I've seen have shown really significant improvements with some of the key ingredients in this particular formulation, where it reduces things like crow's feet. It helps improve the pores and spots. It helps with skin moisture and skin smoothness and luminosity and so on. And there are actually 10 different types of derived form of marine collagen that's in this particular formulation. But the other very interesting thing to this particular formulation that LifeVantage has produced is hydrolyzed collagen. Now, hydrolyzed collagen is better for absorption and utilization. So it's more what we call in the clinical world more bioavailable. It's easily absorbed. Again, most of the other collagen formulations out there, if you get 10% absorption, you get a lot. But because of this unique blend of the hydrolyzed collagen with the marine collagen, we have a product that is a power pack. And when you take it, again, 3 things occur. You actually reduce it stimulates the production of collagen, it replenishes the depleting collagen, and it maintains collagen by reducing the enzymes that break down collagen. Those enzymes actually get more enhanced as we get older. So it actually blocks those enzymes so collagen is not broken down as quickly as we go from one decade of life to the other. So it's a power pack that allows us to get the benefits of having rejuvenation in all our organ systems in our body. So how do you take it? It's a daily liquid shot. It's a delicious appleberry flavor. And then what do you expect from it? Well, we've got some great pictures and photos to show the before and after in terms of what to expect. Smoother, firmer, more radiant looking skin. You get 100% increase in collagen density. That's based on the studies that were done. And that supports, strong, healthy bodies. So we look good, not just on the outside, but remember, lots of our organ systems on the inside is made up of collagen. Our bones is 90%. So if we can enhance collagen in this way, we will go a long way to preventing a lot of significant problems. These pictures look really well, and we all like to look good. We want our skin to look good. We want to look younger, but we also want to feel good, and we want to know that our bodies are getting the benefits of collagen replenishment. It's always important to know that as we go from one decade of life to the other, it's good to be able to know that we can actually reduce the risk of disease. One of the most, I would say, impactful benefits that I've seen with collagen in my practice is pain management. A lot of patients come to me with back pain and joint pain. And one of the first things that they experience I mean, clearly, they like what it does for their skin, but they also actually are quite amazed and are very thankful for what it does for the pain that they've had prior to using collagen, and that pain has significantly declined because of rebuilding of collagen and replenishment of collagen. So it's pretty amazing product, and I think everyone needs to be on it. It's so important to make sure that we see the benefits, we experience the benefits of it. But it's certainly something that everyone, and when you combine collagen with what Kellie just alluded to with the nerve too, I mean, that is just an amazing activation that is occurring with the antioxidant production from the nerve two and the collagen replenishment. We've got products that when you blend them together, it's truly gives a huge benefit to reducing risk for disease, but also helping people to recover from diseases. Well, can we activate anything else? And that was the big question. I think last year was when LifeVantage began to think about maybe looking at a product that had been out there for a while, and it had been out there in the diabetic world. You may have heard of something called GLP-1, and this is what we have as in the mind-body protocol. But GLP-1, just to kind of give you a little bit of backdrop on that, it's the acronym for glucagon-like peptide 1. And it's a hormone that plays a key role in glucose metabolism and appetite regulation. It's primarily produced by the endocrine cells called the L cells in the lining of the small intestine and the colon. And it's especially in the distal part of the colon, distal part of the small intestines and the colon. Now, there's smaller amounts that's produced in other parts of the body, like the duodenum and jejunum, which is the other parts of the small intestine. But it's produced by the gut cells. That's what GLP-1 is. And what is its purpose? Well, the mechanism of action of GLP-1 are several. So all chemicals and hormones, for them to work in our bodies, they have to bind at a receptor. And so there's a receptor found in the pancreatic cells, the beta cells, and there's also receptors for the GLP-1 found in the central nervous system. So when it acts at the pancreatic beta cells, it enhances insulin secretion. Now, when it enhances insulin secretion, that helps to lower blood sugar after eating. So that's the first benefit of GLP-1. It enhances the pancreatic beta cells to produce insulin, so we lower blood sugar levels. It also suppresses glucagon release. Now, glucagon is secreted by the pancreatic alpha cells, and that raises blood sugar. So it suppresses the glucagon, preventing it from raising the blood sugar. So everything is focused at getting the sugars down. The third benefit of GLP-1 is it slows gastric emptying, which means that the flow through the gut slows down, which means that you're not absorbing the sugar. It's a slow absorption that occurs. Again, that leads to lower levels of sugar. And then the fourth benefit of GLP-1 is it promotes satiety. So it increases that sensation of fullness. And that's the GLP-1 acting at the level of the brain. And that allows us to feel full quicker. And so that helps also in controlling blood sugar. So all four aspects of GLP-1 is to manage glucose levels and to reduce those levels. It also acts in the periphery and the skeletal muscles and so on. But the idea behind reducing glucose is we know what happens when glucose levels go up, when sugar levels go up. Sugar levels, excess is stored as fat. Then you get fat deposited around the organs. And then you've got increased visceral fat, then you have obesity. So by managing glucose, reducing production of the glucagon, increasing the production of the insulin, slowing down the flow through the gut, then you've got really the magic bullet to manage diabetes. And this is where GLP-1 started, in the diabetic arena. So we now have, when a lot of the pharmaceutical companies saw that wow, maybe we can finesse this molecule and use it for weight loss, because that was one of the side benefits that was experienced when we started using it in diabetics. But beyond that, LifeVantage saw an opportunity here because, the GLP-1 that we have as a drug has a lot of side effects, and most drugs do. And separate and apart from that, because most of the side effects are nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, constipation, separate and apart from that is the fact that when you do lose weight with the drug, 2/3 of the weight loss is muscle loss. And I've seen so many patients who've been on this medication, on the GLP-1 medication, injectable medication, they literally waste away because they're not doing enough to maintain muscle mass. And so LifeVantage looked at this this opportunity and thought, well, let's see what we can do to create something that can activate the gut cells to start producing GLP-1 again. Because what happens with age? There's a decline in production in most of the hormones and chemicals in our bodies. So they figured out a way by putting an amazing formulation together to enhance GLP-1 production again. There's the MB Core, which is the activation blend. This has about 8 botanical extracts. Again, a lot of these individual ingredients, as we saw with the Nerve 2, they're ingredients individually, but when they put them together, they work synergistically to create something phenomenal. And that's what they've been able to do with this activation blend. It's many different ingredients, that things like acacia, it has bioflavonoids, it has berberine, honeysuckle, matcha, eggplant, but all these ingredients again work together to create an entity that actually stimulates our bodies, stimulates the gut cells to produce GLP-1 again. The MB Enhance, which is the activation support blend, that's the powder. That is essentially about 40% it supplies 40% of dietary fiber. So in that blend, you've got things like potato starch, you've got tapioca fiber, you've got flaxseed, you've got different types of fruit powders. You've got kombucha, which that kombucha leaf works together to fill you up, and it certainly supports the production of things like short chain fatty acids, which helps to stimulate GLP-1 production as well. And then it also has certain specific spore-forming probiotic bacteria that actually helps to enhance and make healthy the microbiome. So it's a pretty amazing product that actually helps to increase, to add more fiber to our diet. So the more fiber keeps you full longer as your gut sort of resets to a healthy balance. With respect to the activation blend, the hunger hormone stabilizes the GLP-1, it goes up, cravings go down, and the food noise goes down. Lots of things actually improve as you do the combination of the MB Core with the MB Enhance. Individuals, when we look at this particular formulation, they saw that there was a 140% increase of GLP-1 on average. And the loss was about, in terms of weight, was about 9 pounds in 8 weeks, and then up to 25 pounds in 12 weeks. The important criteria that makes it so different and so important compared to the actual drug, 100% who lost weight maintained their muscle. As I mentioned before, the GLP-1 drug, 2/3 of weight loss is muscle loss. And muscle loss actually causes havoc in the musculoskeletal system. And individuals have had muscle wasting syndromes because of the drug formulation. But this particular unique blend of activation entities we've been able to achieve with this particular product weight loss without muscle loss, and that is huge. The other important sort of benefit of this mind-body combination is that 27%, we see up to 27% in a reduction in the visceral fat. Now, visceral fat is fat around the organs, and it's fat that's very, very difficult to lose. And to be able to achieve any kind of visceral fat loss, and certainly 27% is pretty significant. That is another huge benefit to the mind-body formulation. So it's just an amazing natural way of not just losing weight. And what do you expect in terms of benefits? You know, a lot of these pictures before and after, it speaks for themselves. Individuals, they don't just lose weight, but they lose inches. And that's where the visceral fat loss comes in, because a lot of fat gets, many people get what we call central adiposity, where fat is deposited in the abdominal area. So individuals have benefited from this. I've had patients who've, a lot of my patients actually prefer to use natural products than medications, because, you know, we always talk about side effects with medications, and that's always a choice that they take. But it's certainly an opportunity to share with patients what is available and natural ways to do things without side effects, but with huge benefits. With LifeVantage, you know, we've had a group of scientists who are really dedicated to helping the body work well again. You know, I've used whenever I talk to patients about health and wellness, I use the example of or the analogy of driving a car. And in essence, to drive your car, you need two things. You need gas and you need an engine. So if you don't have gas, certainly you will shut down. And if your engine isn't working, then you can also shut down as well. When we talk about the gas or the fuel, we're talking about the nutrients you get from your foods and your vitamins and minerals and elements. But what LifeVantage is, they focus on the engine, the cellular makeup. There are hundreds of trillions of cells in our bodies, and every cell has a unique purpose. And cells fail as we move from one decade of life to another. And they have figured out a way to maintain cellular health, to maintain cellular function, because cells make up organs and organs make up systems and systems make up our bodies. And so by taking these products, we have the opportunity not just to experience new life or fullness of life, but to have longevity with functionality. So I will stop there, April, and thank you so much.
We so appreciate you. That is amazing, amazing information. Thank you so much. She is such a busy lady, people. I mean, it is a real treat to have you share the products with us. So, you know, both of those ladies went through 5 of our activators now. So, you know, giving you a good overview, a deep dive into that. We've got one new one that's more new, and maybe you've heard of gut health. Gut health is a big thing out there, and a lot of people are really having problems with their gut, you know, whether it be an unhealthy diet or, you know, just lots of processed food and extra sugar. Hopefully they're not smoking, you know, drinking alcohol, sleep, you know, it can be, you know, not enough sleep, lack of exercise, stress, antibiotics, which stay in your system and hurt things for, you know, 12 months, 15 months, do a lot of damage. And so what's happening is it's hurting our gut. It's causing bloating. It's causing constipation. You know, they're not able to sleep. Their immune system is a mess, getting kind of sickness and disease, diarrhea, heartburn, fatigue, acne, eczema, depression, brain fog, anxiety. Those are all symptoms of the gut that is out of whack, that is just not working the way it should be. And it's an easy thing for it to get out of a line with what it should be. This product is a powerhouse, and people are realizing that there is a huge connection between the brain and the stomach. And so you can see here, you know, this is 2 little packets. We mix them real easy in water. One is a greens base and one is got fruit, but it is so much more than a greens product. And I'm going to share that with you, but 84 microbiome friendly ingredients. There's 15 targeted probiotics, 10 globally sourced botanical blends, 2 powerful formulations. It's one system that is easy to use, but there's nothing else out there on the market like this. And again, it is literally 10 products, all in this one. So like I said, the greens, the reds, the orange, the yellows, the blues, the purples, the prebiotics, the targeted probiotics, the postbiotics, the detox toxins, fermented assist. There's so much in this one product that we are getting, and it's an easy way. But you can see when you don't have bloating, or your bathroom habits are that much better, or you're not getting sick. These are some powerful, powerful benefits that we can get by taking this. And this is our newest activator. Again, we're not just adding things to our system, we are making our system do. And they just came back with another study. We've got 14 different pathways of peptides in here. The right ones are going up, the wrong ones are going down, and it is just proven to be more and more of a powerhouse. So we're getting some great, I love the results that we're getting from so many people at all the before and after testimonies, and we can literally see clearer skin and stuff that's going on. The other product we have, and I'm going to fly through some of these because of the length of time. Axio is a nootropic product. Again, this can help a lot. If your neurotransmitters are not working, it's not reaching out to your body, so you're maybe not having the energy you want, the brain fog you want, positive mood, mental clarity. Love this for tennis, schoolwork, anytime. It does have the BSCG approval to show that it's been tested, that there's nothing in there. So athletes, military, everyone can use it. No problems there. There is a decaf and a caffeine option, but again, it's a water-soluble caffeine, 100 milligrams. Lots of different, you can see flavors there. So there's a flavor for everyone, low carb, but it's great. And we have testimonies in our product group from, people that are on the older side to even on the very young side, getting great, great results in all different areas, including a lot of schoolwork, which, that's kind of measured better than anything else in life. And you can see a lot of great results with this. So this is our Axio. But what's real exciting is we have Axio X coming out soon. This is a product you're going to want to look for. I know Dee just got hers in the mail. Mine is coming in the mail. We're excited to try it. We've heard some great things about this from people that have already been on it. But this is going to be like our workout product. This is the rough day product. This is the product that's going to give us the extra energy to just make every day a great day. So we're looking forward to that. We also have fat burn. Fat burn is the equivalent of 4,000 steps a day without you having to take those steps. So people are losing weight without having to change diet, without having to change a lot of extra exercise. You should still do both. But, it is increasing or decreasing 181 calories a day just by taking this product. And the studies show that it is coming off the middle. Don't we all want to lose, ladies? As we get older, that becomes a really, really tough area. So we want to lose it around the waist. This product works on that. And like I said, can you imagine adding 4,000 steps without actually having to do those steps every day? Because, how much time does 4,000 steps take? Does it take 45 minutes, an hour? It's a lot of steps. So this is a great product to add to the GLP-1, the NAD, and a lot of the other products that we're using to get added benefits. Again, the study's just showing the added results that we're getting when we use that, particularly around the waist, the middle, where we want to lose that. And this is a study on one of the ingredients, Sinatrol, that's actually in the fat burn. 2 tablets you take first thing in the morning, and it's an easy product to add to the regimen you're already doing. But we have so many products, and I know we've gone really long, and we really, really, really appreciate your time here. But we have an amazing skincare line. It's the one in the red, the True Renew, is like a retinol alternative. It's got cranberry peptides in it. The top one, the eye cream up at the top, take a picture before, 15 minutes later, take it again, and you can see your crow's feet and stuff disappear. But great skincare line, hair care line. We've got omegas, we've got D3, we've got things to help you to sleep. We've got things for better eye health. We even have something for your pet. Now, who wouldn't want their dog to have better skin and less arthritic pain and just feel so much better? We all want our pets. We want to take good care of them. But again, I appreciate it. I appreciate Dr. Gordon for being on here, for Kellie Lupsha for being on here, for all their information, their true wealth. I do appreciate your time, Bobby, and I really appreciate your time. And everyone have a good night. This call is over. Appreciate it. Take care. Bye.